Hello again, whiskey friends. Thanks for joining, everybody. Today, we are going to be looking at 5 upcoming whiskey releases. These are either going to be new labels that have been approved by the TTB or even releases that might be coming out here within the next month. These are going to be releases that I personally am looking forward to either getting my hands on or will be closely following the reviews to see if these are worthy to pick up and even review on this channel. Curious to see what's on my radar? Stick around to find out. So thank you for joining today, whiskey friends. Let's kick off the show. All right. Well, we are going to kick things off here with a release that I actually didn't hear about in advance until I started seeing it popped up on some secondary activity. And that is the Elijah Craig Single Barrel 15 year. If you haven't seen this label yet, here is a quick Google image search so you can see what this bottle looks like. But this new 15-year age-stated single barrel is in the same bottle design as the 18-year Elijah Craig. Has the red band rather than the blue band. And a big difference here is actually the proof. The 18-year comes in at 90 proof, whereas this new 15-year comes in at 108 proof. I am certainly curious to find this one. MSRP is supposed to be around $150, though I have seen people already pushing them for $250 on secondary. So it does come in a little cheaper than the 18-year, plus you're getting that higher proof. Though, personally, I find it interesting. I have been seeing the 18-year all over the place in Ohio and Northern Kentucky, just sitting on the shelf for $200. And the Elijah Craig 18 to me was so hit and miss. I've bought 2 of them in my lifetime. The last time I did purchase one was in 2020. I still have half that bottle up there, and I consider it hot trash. So hopefully with the Elijah Craig 15 year, there's less of an inconsistency issue. And again, when a new release like this is now in the pipeline and going to be coming out, it does make me wonder, again, if we're seeing the seeds as to why the Elijah Craig barrel proof age statements keep coming down and the quality comes down as well. I personally would rather have hitter batches of ECBP than these 15-year single barrels at 108 proof, but I'll have to give it a chance and actually taste them before I can give that final verdict. The next one that caught my eye is going to hit me near and dear to my heart. I'm going to have to get my hands on this one. But there's a few interesting things about it that stick out to me. First, the name, MGP Chapter 1. So this is the new label that was approved. It's supposed to be a 10-year, 21% rye bourbon, coming in at 111 proof. This one was approved in March of 2026. Not sure of the MSRP or release on it. But the fact that it's branded MGP and not Ross and Squibb definitely catches my eye. But in general, the fact that MGP is releasing higher age statements on their own labels is something to get excited about. I've been a big fan of their experimental series, but I've been a harsher critic of the recent releases of the Remus repeal. So hopefully this Chapter 1, with its higher proof, does redeem some of those recent Remus repeal batches with both the double-digit age statement and that great 21% rye mash. For the next one here, I can't say I am traditionally the biggest Old Elk fan. There's something about the Old Elk profile that's never quite hit me right. But when I am seeing these distilleries hitting these double-digit age statements, like we've seen with this class of distilleries, whether it be New Riff, Riffless Glen, one of the next brands we're going to highlight is going to fit this category as well. It is exciting to see these brands grow up and hit these huge milestones. And maybe something special can happen as we get a deeper oak profile. Now, note on this one, this is the wheated bourbon, and the proof's going to be at 109.2 proof. I couldn't find any documentation on MSRP, though when I did see the 10-year wheat whiskey, that was around $100. So I'm kind of expecting this to be in the same price, and I'd give it a shot for that. Next up, we're going to get into of the Russell's Rickhouse collection. These are typically always out of my price range, roughly around $250, but I'm not sure if this is going to match that price or if Turkey's going to pull a turkey and keep increasing the price. But this one is going to be coming from Camp Nelson D, 120.8 proof, and it's a blend coming from different floors. I'm sure our resident turkey head Kelsey will be all over this one if he has a chance. So on this one, I'm probably going to wait for a sample rather than pulling the trigger even though I do know a lot of people that swear by these Rickhouse releases. The next release I wanted to highlight is another one of these distilleries that opened up in the mid 2010s and is now hitting those double digit age statements. But on this one, we've got Kentucky Peerless releasing a 10-year-old bourbon. Quite the milestone here for Peerless. A lot of the single barrels I still see are sitting there at 4, 5, 6 years. This one will be dropping in the distillery in April of 2026. So definitely keep an eye on that one. That one's coming soon. The proof is said to be 117.6, but I couldn't find any information on MSRP. But it has been quite a while since I purchased anything from Peerless. This could be something that gets me back in with that 10-year age statement. I think the High Rye Bourbon was the last release that I purchased. One more release to highlight, and I think this could be dropping any time here. It's also the cheapest bottle on the list today at $75 MSRP. But there is a new release of the Maker's Mark wood finishing series, the Stewards, coming out. Bottle design is similar to what we saw with the Heart release, utilizing this bottle shape and label design versus what we saw with the C3PO series. This one's also going to be arriving in 2 different batches at different proofs, one at 109 proof and one at 113 proof. Once again, similar to what Maker's Mark used to do with something like the BEP1 and the BEP2. Now, personally, I haven't purchased anything from the wood finishing series in a while, though people have been nice and gotten me some samples. I think on this one, I'll continue to wait on the samples as well. While I do enjoy this series, and it's good to see that Makers continued this series, even though they initially said they were going to finish it a couple years ago, I did buy every single wood finishing release, starting with the RC6 all the way forward. And while I did enjoy many of those releases, I must say, I still have all of them at either 50% full to 75% full. They just ended up not being bottles that I went back to. So that's why this one is probably one that I'll wait for a sample or to see how the reviews come in before I take the plunge on a full bottle. So there's a highlight of some upcoming releases that caught my eye. I'll continue to look through the different websites that highlight the TTB labels and upcoming releases and bring this news to you on what is going to be on my radar throughout the rest of 2026. So what new bottles are on your radar that we didn't highlight here today? Is there anything on this list that you are looking to buy yourself? Let us know in the comments, and just remember, while you can always find more whiskey, you can never find enough whiskey, friends. So take care of those around you, and we will catch you on the next one. Goodbye, everybody.